This year, Stan and I have been teaching a beekeeping class to a group of local homeschool teenagers. These teenagers have a hands-on portion, which is what you see in the videos, and then they're also taking our online courses as part of the class and completing the quizzes and running through all of those lessons. By the end of the school year, they're going to be experts. Let's join Stan as he takes students to the hive for the first time, and they're noticing the bees on the front porch of the colony.
They are having a wrestling match. Why would the bees be wrestling with each other? That bee just flew off and went inside, and the other one's staying outside. Let's see what this other bee does for a sec. Let's just watch it. Is it going to fly away to a different hive, or is it going to come back over here? Those were fighting. That bee. So I suspect that one of the bees was a robber bee, and the other bee was a guard bee. The guard bee was at the entrance and said, "Hey, you're not from this colony. You're not coming in here." And the other bee said, "Oh yeah, I am." And then they had a wrestling match, a little bit of a fight. We could sit here and watch it for 20 minutes, but maybe we won't. Well, there's a lesson here, so we're learning something about bees by observing what's going on.
They're everywhere.
At the hive entrance. Okay, so all right. Now, while we're doing that too, I want everybody to turn around and look the other direction. What do you think?
Bees!
Okay. So we've disrupted the bees' flight path. Okay, you can see where most of the bees are backed up. We backed up traffic right over here, didn't we? See where the bees are? Right by Amron's is traffic central. She's like the traffic guard, the traffic light. Okay, now, all right. So let's do this. Everybody just back up a few steps and we'll watch the bees come in. Now when you watch the bees come in, let's watch and see what's going on their legs. If somebody could help me count how many bees coming in with pollen on the back of their legs and how many bees are not. Right? Let's just watch for a second. So if you look at the bees, they look at their back legs when they come in, you'll see some yellow pollen. Let's see. Let's see what we got. I don't see any.
I saw some. It's
okay,
yellow.
was it yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So we know that they're working on yellow pollen. So here, before we even get on the hive, so here's what we're doing. Before we get inside the beehive, we're gathering some information just by looking at the entrance of the hive to see what's going on. All right. So, all right. How about Emmett? You come around this side. Come over here where I am. Come around here. You stand right here. All right. And then let's see. Who else? Wyatt, how about you? You come around here and stand right here. Okay, cool.
Oh, I saw one.
Right. Okay. So you guys, all right. Now move over and let those. So the bees are coming in from this direction, right? About like that. Is that where most of them are coming from?
So Cubby, you're right in their flight path, yeah?
So if you want to move out of the flight path just for a sec, Cubby, let them come in. Come over right here. Cubby, just come over right here.
You can stand close to the hive, just...
Okay. Now the bees can come in without being bothered by us. Now we can count better at pollen. You got to look quick sometimes too. So come around here. Come around here. All right. Stand right there and look. Stand right there on the side here. So all right. There you go.
Oh, they're so cute.
Now look at the bees coming in. How many of them have pollen? Let's count bees. Well, we're backing them up. All right. Well, okay. So my point was here by that is we were going to count and see how many of them were bringing pollen. So we can learn a couple of things. We know that there's honey inside the beehive. Will you take that, Wyatt, and give them a little smoke right by the entrance? We're going to open it. I think my smoker's going out. Is there smoke coming out of that still or not?
I don't see any.
Okay, it probably went out. That's typically what happens. There's a little bit.
Oh, okay.
No! A bee died.
Did you get stepped on or what?
Yeah, look out in front of the hive and see how many bees you can count within 2 feet of the hive. How many dead bees are there?
One. How many people know, how long does a bee live? Do you guys know?
It's like 27.
Oh look, they're coming. 27 days? Yeah, about a month, 27 days, that's pretty close to a month.
Okay, we got another hive over there.
So, if there's
short
10,000 bees in a hive, would you expect to see how many, and they live, what, 30 days? How many bees would you expect to see out in front of a hive? I'm not looking for an exact number, but would you expect like 1 or 2? Would you expect hundreds, thousands? What do you think?
About a few thousand. Are there
Yeah.
tons of dead ones like in the hive?
Well, usually the mortuary bees will bring the dead ones outside and drop them out in front of the hive, right? So they don't live very long, so it's normal to find
Puffing on that
dead
bellows a
bees
little
in
bit,
front
will you? Just
of
enough to
a
keep it going.
colony.
There you go. All right. So, all right. Oh, okay. So here's one thing we can gather. We can see the bees are coming and going, so we know there's bees in there. And we see the bees bringing in pollen. Pollen is the nutrition for the baby bees. Right? They go out and they visit a flower, and they collect and they plow through that flower, looking for nectar, and they get pollen all over their hair. They're just like you look at a picture of a bee with pollen all over its hair, and you think, achoo. So it's got to groom itself, it's got to get all that off of there, and it packs it down on its back legs. It's got these little baskets on its back legs. It's got baskets, and it packs the pollen on there, and then it brings back the hive. And that's the food for the baby bees. Who knows what amino acids are?
What?
So the amino acids are protein. If we chain up a bunch of amino acids, we got a protein, right? Right. So that's what pollen is. It's just individual amino acids, and they bring that back to the hive, and then they're going to mix up the
They're
protein.
attacking me. They're like,
Are they headbutting you?
yep.
So they might. So sometimes bees, rather than sting you, they'll give you a little warning first. They'll just headbutt you, rather than get too rough with you. Okay. So what we know then is that if the bees are bringing back pollen, there's pollen going into the hive. What do we know is going on inside the hive? There's brood in there. If there's brood, when we talk about baby bees, we're speaking of the brood. So when we use the word brood,
It means eggs. It means
oh,
piles.
hey,
of
look at that! Get a picture of that. Get a picture of that.
Oh, that's
The
really
praying
cool.
mantis. I'm in the shadow.
That's a male.
Quite often we see praying mantis around beehives.
You may not know it's male because it is a juvenile.
So they like to eat
Females
bees.
green.
Oh, are they?
No, male and females, they look similar when they're juvenile.
Oh, there's
but then
the
when
smoke.
they grow up, you can see the females, their gaster gets bigger.
Okay.
Adam's a bug guy for sure.
We've also
That's
got
really cool.
spiders that like to live underneath the beehive. They like to eat bees.
I got some pictures.
And I don't make any attempt to kick the spiders and praying mantises and some of the other pests out of the beehive. Now skunks, we do want to take some precautions to keep the skunks out.
Get those honey.
So Stan, tell us about brood again. What's brood?
All right, so back to brood. So when we use the word brood, we're talking about baby bees. All right. So we know that if there's baby bees, there's also who made the baby bees?
The queen.
The queen bee. We know there's a queen bee in there. So if they're bringing in pollen, what did we just gather?
They're bringing back food.
We know we got a queen, right?
Probably, yeah.
Most likely. All right. Now let's test that bit of information and see if it's true. Let's open the beehive and see if we can find the queen. Ready? All right. Okay, good job keeping the smoker going. Let me show you the right amount of smoke, and then we'll let you guys do it next time. So we have an upper entrance on this beehive. We have an auger hole right below the handhold on the beehive, and then we have the bottom entrance. The bottom entrance is the main entrance. So if my smoker's going about like that, it's going good. I'll give it 1 or 2 puffs there, one there, and 2 puffs there. All right? That's about enough to calm them down for a second. All right? We have on this hive right here, we've got 3 boxes. 2 of them are a different size. The 2 bottom ones, those are what we call deep boxes. You see how deep that is? Just for your future measurements, that's Langstroth deep box, which is 9 5/8. This one is a medium size. See how that was a little bit smaller? I put the medium box on the top, and typically we use this 3rd box up as a box for honey. That's the part of the hive where they're going to store honey, or at least where we're going to take the honey that they've stored. So we call it a super. Tell me which way the wind's blowing.
That way.
Okay. So now what I could do is I could set the smoker right over here. Maybe it's not good. We don't want to set it in the weeds. If that was dry grass, I wouldn't set it right there. But it's right on the dirt. We're okay. That way the wind is going to blow that smoke across here, so now I don't have to constantly smoke the bees. All right, I may need to, but this will help if the smoke's blowing across the bees. All right, here's how the hive tool works. All right, we've got the lid on the hive, and the bees have stuck it down. So I'm going to take the hive tool, and I'm going to wedge it in between the lid and the box, right? And I'm going to pry up. I'm going to use this as a lever, okay? I'm going to pry that up. I want to do it gently. All right, now if I'm nervous about the bees getting mad at me, I can take some smoke and put it under there, and then I can just wait for about a minute. So when we put smoke on the bees, it signals to them that there's something's coming, and typically what they'll do is they'll go fill up on the honey. You watch when we open this up, you'll see a bunch of bees with their heads down in the cells. They're drinking honey. You see? And come right over here. Use the back up right in this. Come right over here. There you go. So they do that when there's smoke on. They'll fill up with honey. All right, that's enough time now. All right, so now I'm going to pop the lid off. Now, if you had some mad bees right there, you might want to do this. You could use the lid as a shield, right? I could hide behind this for a minute until the bees got used to the new light source coming in the hive. All right. There's going to be some bees on the underside of the lid when you take it off. So here's what I like to do. I don't want to set it down in the dirt.
I want to hold a bee.
Okay, so let's look at the lid here for a sec. See all this sticky stuff?
Yep.
Sticky.
I'm trying to make it.
Anyone know what that's called?
Honey.
No. There's two different things here that are sticky. This is sticky and this is sticky. Which one's this?
Wax.
Wax. That's beeswax. And this is propolis. This is like pine sap, but maybe not from pine trees. Could be from poplar trees or some other plant resins. It's sticky stuff like pine sap, right? And they stick that all around. See the little line that goes all the way around the lid? Boop. Goes all the way around the lid. So it goes all around here. That waterproofs the hive, so when it rains, the water doesn't run in there, run inside the hive. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to set this down here like this for now.
And propolis is the thing that gets your clothes all sticky.
Oh,
Yeah.
I tried
Gets
stinging
sticky.
me.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, it's butt when like right here and it's...
Did somebody get stung already? What are you
Oh
talking
no,
about?
it almost stung me.
Okay, I
was
put
trying
this
to.
box on, this medium box here, I put this one on maybe a week and a half ago. All right, so the bees here have been struggling all summer long to gain some speed. Finally, there's a nectar source on, so we're going to take this box off right now and move it aside. So here's how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take the hive tool, right? And I'm gonna put it in there, and then I'm gonna separate the boxes. See what I just did?
Yep.
Okay. Now when I set this down, I don't want to set it down on, if I set it down right like this in dirt, I'll get dirt all over the propolis and all over the wax and all over the bees, and I'll smash a bunch of bees, okay? I don't want to do that. So when I set the box down, I'm gonna set it down like this. Set it down on its end, okay? Now we're down into where the queen possibly could be. All right.
Are you going to do the bottom box first, or are you going to inspect this one?
We could go right.
You know what time it is?
Okay. Okay. Here we go. So when I take,
think one to the
you see this comb? There's some wax here, just like on the underside of the lid right here. They're going to put wax in all the spaces that they can.
Oh, you don't?
And they like to stick everything down. So pretend they were in a tree. Let's pretend they built this in a tree. And the wind would come along and move it around. They like to stick down the comb in the hive so it doesn't go anywhere. They want to cement it down. So that's part of the reason why they do this kind of thing. And it's easier for them to have a ladder that goes from one place to the next. So that's one reason why they stick.
What's it called?
You are surrounded.
Yeah. So they would call this bridge comb, burr comb, brace comb. You can see it's kind of got the hexagon shape to it here and there. And if they really get crowded in the hive, sometimes they'll put honey in this comb here. We want them to put honey in the comb that's by the lid, on the frames, okay, not by the lid. All right, so now this piece here is a feeder. This is different than the place where they're going to put comb. Sometimes they'll build comb down in this feeder, but if we need to feed bees, this is a place to do it. You take one frame out and you put in this plastic feeder, and then you can dump some sugar syrup in there, okay? We're going to learn about different types of feeders later on. So it's going to be easiest for me to take this out because there's not a lot of brace comb next to it. See, it's easy to get this out. See the bees down in there? Yeah. All right, so there's nothing in there. I fed them a couple weeks ago, but there's nothing in there for right now. All right.
Is that honey right there on the little tiny bit of honeycomb?
Yep, that's a little bit of honey on there. Yep, we broke open some honey. See, the bees are cleaning up honey right there? Yep, that's what they're doing. When you break open honey, when you separate some of that comb as you're taking things apart, the bees will come and clean things up.
Are we going to eat some of the fresh honey?
We might be able to. I think we can probably find some right now. Okay, now I have some space in here. It's going to be easier for me to work with. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this over. I'm going to take my hive tool and use it for leverage, just like I did on the lid, and I'm going to move that frame over. These are called frames. It's interesting that people refer to these like lots of different things. Trays, slats, partitions, dividers, they're called frames. Okay?
And the reason they're called frames is?
They have a frame, a wood frame that goes all the way around. It has a top bar, and it has two side bars, two vertical parts to it, and it has a bottom to it. Right?
Is it okay to just eat straight like one of those?
Yes. All right. Let's do this. I think that we need to get this out of the way.
Get the eating honey.
Yep.
Okay.
With y'all's hives, do you do
Right,
like, 'cause I've seen on some hives they have like a piece of like plastic or something in the middle
Yeah.
of the frames. Do y'all have that in these ones?
Yeah. So okay. So good question here. Let's look at the next one right here, and I'll show you. This one has some space in it that hasn't been built out yet with wax. So see this right here? That's plastic. That's called foundation. So it's plastic and it's molded and it has. So they've almost completed that. See where they're building comb right there? They've almost finished building comb all the way out, except that one little corner. Now this side, they're still working on. They're working on all this space, and you see how it slowly gets a little bit more. They're just starting to build up the cell walls right there, and then it gets deeper and deeper, and then all the way up here you have full depth cells, and they're putting honey in it. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. And then here they have capped over honey. Here they put a lid on the honey. So underneath these caps right here is honey. Yep. See that? All right.
So somebody asked a question like, is the comb that shape, the hexagon shape, because of the plastic, or do bees naturally do that?
Bees will naturally make that hexagon shape. As you can see here, there's no foundation here, and they're building that hexagon shape there. There.
It is, yes. Yeah. Just take it out of the hive.
How can you tell the difference between capped honey and capped brood?
Okay.
Like the eggs.
All right, here we go. We're gonna go.
Died of old age.
We're gonna find some bees. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look over. So that was honey, and that was just honey in that one.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna look at something else. So we had that one was solid honey. This one they hadn't quite finished drawing it out yet.
So normally they start in the middle and they work outward. So maybe Stan even rearranged that to put it in there closer so they would draw it out.
Now that's all honey too. Little bit of foundation. They're still working on it. There's a little bit of pollen in there. Now you saw the yellow pollen that they were bringing in their pollen baskets. But when we looked at the entrance, see those spots right there? There's some pollen in there. See what's yellow?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Everybody see the pollen? Yeah. Okay. So we've got the difference now between a honey cell, there, and pollen. There's some contrast right there. You see the yellow right in the middle of that? They don't cap. Here's a good example. They don't cap over pollen. They do cap over honey. So all this around here, that's capped over honey. Underneath there, honey.
If they sometimes they put pollen and then they put honey on top of that, and then they'll cap that though.
This right here is travel stained. So this is no different than this right here. That's where the bee's been walking. Wow. So when the bees come in the hive, they've got a place that they're going. And if the place is traveled often, then it'll get that look like it's kind of watery. Right. So let me explain this. Let me give you the details.
Normally stain sounds like something gross, but this is just, tell them why.
All right. So between the cap of the cell, you can see a cell here that's being capped over. Like, look at this one. That one's almost capped over. That one they're working on capped over. Those few cells right there, they're closing it in, right? Instead of a completely open cell like this, they're just starting to close it in. They're putting little tiny bits of wax around there, and then they're slowly close it up. So when they close it up between the top of the honey and the underside of that wax cap is a little bit of an airspace. This will be on your test. All right, so now if that airspace gets pushed down so it comes in contact with the honey, then you have this kind of, you have this look right here. So watch what happens if I take these cells right here, have that airspace above the honey and below the lid, and if I pushed on it, look what happens. So I just pushed that down in contact with the wax, with the wax with the honey right there. See now how it looks now? That airspace is gone. So that's all this is. So as the bees come in the hive, let's see, it'd be right out here. The bees were coming in the hives and they all crawled across here. And after there's so many thousands of bees crawling across that one little spot, it starts to pack it down. So that's what we call a travel path, travel stain.
Is it actually a stain though?
No, it's not
it's
a
just
stain.
a different color
It just
of
looks
wax.
a different color.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a little bit on this side. All right. So the difference between capped over honey here and capped over honey here, what's the difference?
The
it
lid
has
is
travel
touching the
Right.
honey.
So nothing really.
Yeah, the lid is touching the honey. Yeah.
There's no air.
It just looks different because it's touching the honey. Right.
And when we extract that honey, he cuts all the caps off anyway.
Yeah.
And so underneath it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So you can identify between capped over honey that has some travel stain to it, open cells, and pollen. See the yellow pollen? All right, did everybody see the yellow pollen? We got it all? Everybody over there? Samantha, did you see it?
Ammon, did you get to see
That's
the pollen?
the amino acid. All right, all right, should we move on? We're looking for brood now. Okay, let's find the difference. I'm gonna, we're gonna let everybody get to turn with the hive tool. They get to open up a lid, take some frames out and all that. You're gonna get to all do that. This queen right here is a very valuable breeder queen. I caught this queen, it was a swarm, and I caught it over in Farron, so across the mountain. If we went straight over the mountain that way, over in Emery County. And so I want to be extra careful with this queen because I don't want to smash it, right? So I'm going to handle this one. You guys will get a chance handling the other ones here in just a minute. All right.
Oh, there it goes. Back on the ground.
So let's look for brood now. We're going hunting for brood. Let's see if we can find brood. If we don't find brood, in the next couple frames, we'll look in the bottom of it.
Nope.
All right, what do we see on this?
Honey and uncapped honey.
Lots of still mixing honey.
Yep. This side?
Honey and pollen.
So it's a new one. So it's a brand new one.
So how do you know? Because doesn't it have to sit for a little bit before it becomes honey? The nectar becomes.
Yes. If they were bringing in honey today, I'll show you.
You
Are you
know a
getting
lot
chased by a
about
bee?
bees, Clayton.
Emery?
Well, I was gonna get some in the spring, and then
You did some research,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I've done a lot of research. But
Awesome.
More of the same. So we've got a whole box full of here honey. So you know what
Yeah.
this means? It means the beekeeper was late with the soup. I should have had this box on a couple weeks earlier.
Or maybe they filled it up. Yeah.
But yeah, how do you know? How long do you need to wait before the
Especially this
nectar becomes honey?
All right. So
Under
when they
this
bring it in, okay, here we go. We got some brood now. So usually they'll dry it out in a week or so. It'll take maybe more than a week to dry out the nectar, so we return nectar into honey. All right. So I'm going to point to a cell, and you're going to tell me what it is.
Honey.
Capped honey.
Okay, there's capped honey underneath there. Let's open it and find out. Okay, you're right.
Wow.
All right, now I'm going to point to another one. What's
That's
this one?
still nectar.
Pollen.
Pollen. Who says pollen?
Me.
All right. Who's right? Yellow pollen.
Yep, pollen.
Achoo! Yeah, you're right. Made me sneeze. Okay. All right, now I'm going to point to another one. All right, how about this one right here? See this one? What's this cell?
That's empty. It's an egg thing.
Is that still
What is it?
brood?
Is it brood? Well, I'm pointing to that specific cell and that specific
And there's
bee and
a
that
bee.
specific cell. What is it?
It's an empty one.
Oh, that's the queen?
No,
Nurse bee.
No, never mind.
nurse bee, probably nursery. House bee was in there cleaning up.
Oh,
something.
yeah, I can see it.
So it was either putting in, it might have been feeding some larvae, it might have been cleaning out a cell. That was just a worker bee. Okay, working on, all right. Okay, I'm going to point to another one. You tell me what it is. What's this one?
That's
Brood. Did somebody say brood?
Yes.
You're right. It's brood. So,
Did it sting you?
All right, so now the difference between brood, capped over brood, and capped over honey. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So when it's capped over honey, it's wax, it's pure wax.
Yep. It's flat.
So there's a reason for that.
To
They want it
protect the
watertight.
Yeah, they want
want
to
it here.
protect it.
Right, so they've dried it out, so they've reduced the content in the nectar, they've turned it into honey, and now they want to cap it over and keep that moisture content consistent if they can. And they also want to keep the water out. Yes.
Isn't the brood like silk?
What? The brood
the
like,
smoke
what'd you
still
say?
there?
Is it
Yeah,
silk?
that's still
Silk?
Like, do they do a cocoon like silk?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. They do, yeah. So they'll spin just like you've seen a caterpillar spin a cocoon. Yeah, they do the same thing. So, so you can see right here where this cell's a little bit darker. These are darker. Look at the cells right here on the edge. They're nice yellow wax. So when they spin a cocoon, it gets a little bit darker. And then they'll clean it out, and when they spin another cocoon, it gets a little bit darker. So eventually it'll get almost black. So you can tell what part of the comb has been used to raise brood in by what color it is. Right? All right, if I open up this cell, what do you think we'll find under there?
honey.
Brood.
No, it's
I don't
bee
know
or
if I
something.
know. Larva?
Larva, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Larva goo.
Larva goo.
Larva goo.
Okay, larva goo. We found larva goo. This
Larva goo.
drone is actually in the purple-eye stage. And did I see a mite
Oh,
on it?
I can see. Oh, they're
So
little
that's gonna
ugly
become a
little
bee?
pods.
I'm
It would've.
suspicious that there's a mite, but
Is
yeah.
that a mite?
Yeah.
Okay, look at this, guys. You see that? See that little bug right there?
Yeah.
Is it moving?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're moving it.
I'm moving it. Tell me.
Yeah,
if
it's
it moves.
moving.
It moves. It's alive. It's a mite.
Smash it.
That is a varroa mite. This is the #1 enemy of beekeepers and bees worldwide right now. Bad, bad, bad. Get a good look at it. Did you see it?
Tiny
What
little
do
mite.
you do to it?
Well, this, I want it out of the hive for sure. Where'd it go? Right there. I'm going to smash it. Okay, that's all done. Now, so typically,
You take
Those
so you
mites.
clean them.
we do what?
So they clean them, or do you clean them?
They will, yeah. They'll clean that. All right, let's try another one. Is there another mite?
I think so.
There's that little black dot on the other one.
Yeah, there's a black dot.
Here?
There's one right there,
Yeah.
Stan.
That one's the one.
That's
Is
the
that
first,
the
is that the
eye?
first one? Or is
No.
that
That's the first one you squished.
the, oh, is there another one?
I think there
We're
might
gonna look
be.
at some more. This is one way we do a mite test, okay? Well, you're gonna encounter this, so let's do this. All right, we're gonna open up some drone brood. We're not just killing brood just for science experiments. We're checking for mites. Was there one on that one? No?
Here, lift it up a bit. Yeah,
Okay, maybe not. All right, so far we've only found one. Let's look at some more.
Oh,
Here we go. Ready?
making a big clump of it.
That one, this frame does not have foundation. Do you see how he could go right
Oh,
through?
yeah?
Yeah.
That looks
So it
like
doesn't
some
have that.
chalk.
Is it better to have
A what?
foundation or not to?
Is
That
that a
actually
bee?
looks like
Or
chalk.
just does it just depend?
There, yeah, foundation's a good thing. We invented that for a number of beekeeping conveniences. Yeah.
Are those just
All right. Just help me look for mites. Oh, okay, we saw another one. We checked this one little patch of brood. There was another mite. What color are the mites?
black?
Stan,
Oh, I
10
see a
minute
slug.
warning for our bee
It's a
class.
slug.
Slug?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's
That looks chalky.
It's a
Look
bee.
at that. See that? How that's a chalky brood right there?
You're just finding all kinds
I'm
of
kind of
evidence.
finding all kinds of trouble here. Chalk brood is is a bee disease. It's not a serious one. Whoops, sorry. So now, what's this bee doing now? I made a mess down there, and there's some bees down here. What are they doing?
Fixing it.
Fixing it.
So you have to dig it up, and then they go to it to clean it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this now, all right. So now, before there's any misconceptions, this isn't how we get rid of mites. I'm just testing to see if there's mites.
Yeah.
Right. So this will just give us some idea of do our bees have a mite infestation? Do we have enough mites in there that we're worried about it? Should we put in a treatment? We just taken a little preliminary test.
What's the treatment for?
So let's talk about mite treatment another day because you got to show them brood.
Okay.
Like today's
All right.
let's look at brood. We will have a day about mites though.
This side is more of the same. On this side, there's
Drone.
drone brood right here. right?
The big pile of bees.
Yep. We're in a big pile of bees. All right. And then next door to this, maybe we've got some.
It's all
Bee climbing
honey.
on you.
Okay.
On your shirt.
Alrighty. This
Do you
one
know what
we
time
will.
it is?
We have about
It's like
10 more
11,
minutes of class,
15.
but yeah,
We will look for brood on this one. Let's see if there's brood
there's
on this
not.
one.
Looks
Okay.
like a lot of
What do we
dry.
got on this one? Okay.
Dry stuff.
All right. Here we go. This is good. All right. Now. All right. I'm going to point to a cell. Now you need to be able to see down in the cell there. So you see, everybody wants to look in the middle here. We know this is honey. We know this is honey,
where the
right?
pollen goes.
Right. Okay. And we know there's pollen. We can see the
Those
yellow.
empty ones?
These empty ones. Look in the empty cells. Tell me what you see.
White. I see white goo.
Who sees white goo? Okay. All right. Cubby sees white goo. Everybody has to have a look at the white goo.
Yep, I see it.
All right. Did everybody
If
see
you
it?
saw it, will you scoot back so Adam and Emma can get in there too?
See the white goo in the empty cells in the middle?
Yeah,
Found
can
it? Did you find it?
That's weird.
All right.
I stepped
You
on
got to show these guys.
it. Yeah, well, actually, I'm not even sure if I stepped on it. Just
Now, it helps sometimes. You have to turn the frame, maybe to get the light shining down in there. Typically, when I'm examining a frame and I need a close look at it, I want the sun over my shoulder, right? So,
What's in there,
sun's over
Sam?
there. I can see it best if I do it this way. This side is even better, all right? Everybody get a look at this side. Okay, we know this is honey. We know there's travel stain on the honey. We-
White gooey stuff.
You see the white gooey stuff? All right, now they're capping over. This cell's capped over, and this, and this, and this, and this, and those, and those, and those. Right?
Yeah.
What's the difference between this capped over cell and these capped over cells?
So that one's brown and that
don't
one's
have
not
honey.
brown.
Okay, so I was saying the color here, the color describes something. This is a lighter color generally because it's solid wax,
Yeah.
right? This is a different color. It's a little bit darker color
Yeah.
because it's not solid. Because there's something underneath that cell that needs air. What would it be?
Larva.
Larva is underneath there. So when they cap over, let's be really specific, and we're not, we'll get into more specifics when we talk about the lifestyle of the bee. So
Life
the bee
cycle.
goes from egg to larva stage, and then when they cap it over, it goes to a different stage in its life cycle. What?
Starts with a P.
Starts with a P?
Pupil?
Pupa.
Close. Pupa. Yeah.
Pupae.
Yeah.
Pupa.
Good
So
job.
egg, larva, pupa, and then adult. All right? So when they cap it over, that means the nurse bees are done feeding it. It's full of white goo, right? Or bee milk. Or what do we? Let's learn the different names we call the white goo. It's called bee milk because it's white. Looks kind of milky. It's called royal jelly because it's kind of jelly-like, right? And it's also called bee food, brood food.
Bee bread.
Bee bread. Bee bread is the pollen.
Pollen.
They'll mix up the bee bread to make the bee goo. Got it?
Yeah.
Sauce.
Okay.
Marshmallow sauce.
Marshmallow sauce. I like it. All right.
So funny.
So now, we didn't find the queen bee though, so how do I know the queen's any good?
Because the
Is
bees are
she?
still here.
Okay,
There's
well,
a million bees.
she is. We know she is. But look at this pattern in here. Look at this. Look at the pattern of those white bees in there. You see them all?
Are they mostly full, or are there a lot that are empty?
There's a lot that are empty and a lot that are full.
See that? See how full that is? There's a nice pattern, even pattern of mostly full cells, full of nice, shiny little bee worms, larvae. Okay? That says to me that we've got a good queen in there. She's good, yeah.
Doesn't the queen have like a crest on her head, like some red thing?
Her head's not a whole lot different than compared to the workers, or the other worker bees, the other female bees. So she does have a cleft down her thorax that's a little bit different, and it's kind of bald. The other bees are hairy on their back, and she's got a little bald spot and a little crest. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. Is she wearing a crown? You know, like with the jewels and the little pointy things on there? No. No, we've seen honey, and we've seen evidence of the queen, right?
Yep.
Because if there's babies, somebody made those babies, yeah?
Yeah, somebody made the babies. All right, so we know the queen's in there. And I marked her earlier. She's a lighter colored queen, I remember. She's an Italian looking queen. And so, okay, now look at this while we're at it. We're just, look at this bee right here. What's the difference between this little bee right here? It's kind of a lighter color, and the bees around it. You see the difference?
Yeah.
What would be, anybody got any ideas why that bee's a different color?
Is it a nurse?
Nope, it's not a nurse.
Did you hear Amron?
What'd you
Say
say?
it again, Amron.
Does that mean it's younger?
Yes, right?
Is it one of the like pupa bees?
It just barely emerged. Yeah.
So it's an adult, but, because it, yeah,
Yep.
but it just barely
just
it just
barely
barely
came out of its
stopped
shell.
being a pupa.
You have a bee on her head.
All right.
All right, you got to put the hive back together because these guys are starving and
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm
We're
putting
the
the
starving children.
And watching the honey is not making any sense.
All right.
I know.
I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to do some little beekeeping. See all those bees on here on this comb because I broke it apart. It was over next to here, and then I broke it apart. So, in order not to smash those bees when I put this frame back in, I'm just going to make them move out of the way. I'm going to take this comb that they built right from one frame to another, and I'm going to move it. Where did that smoker go? You still got the smoker? Is it still going?
Yes,
Yeah.
look at that. You need a student with you all the time just to keep the smoker going.
Yeah. That's a hand. All right, don't let that fall. All right, so I moved the bees off of that a little bit.
This is the rest.
Then I won't smash them any when I move them out of the way. Watch this. I'm just going to move that bit of bird comb out of the way like this. And I'll just let it drop down there because they'll chew it down and they'll recycle it, okay? Now when I put this back down in there, though, I'm going to smash fewer bees. It's almost impossible, guys, to get into a beehive without smashing a few bees. We just don't want it to be the queen bee, right?
There's thousands of bees.
There's thousands. How many thousands of bees do you think there is in this hive? Take a guess.
30,000.
I'm going to try
30,000.
Up. Okay, that's better. Add a zero. That's better. Keep going.
50,000.
You're probably close about there.
60,000.
Yep, somewhere around there.
Really? 50,000.
Tens of thousands, yeah.
So this time of summer at the peak. All right, I'm going to move these back over now.
We're closing up the hive.
We're going to close up the hive now. So now we have, what did we learn here? We learned this beehive has some mites. This beehive has a queen. It has plenty of brood, looks good. Brood looks good. It has plenty of honey. These boxes, this box, if this box is full of honey, there's a good chance there's quite a bit in the bottom box too. All right, so I realized I don't need to feed them again. That's on my little list of things to do in the beehive, okay? And I'm gonna put this feeder back in. I'll get the dirt off of there. It sticks to the dirt. That's why you want to set things down so they don't get dirty on their end. All right. I'm gonna move that over just a little bit. See how these frames slide over nice and tight to each other? Learn about mites. Bee space. Okay, all right, so now I don't want to set this box back down on the top just like that because all these bees are coming out at the bottom, so why don't you bring that smoker over here? And if you'll give those bees some gentle puffs of smoke right there, and it'll move them up away from the bottom ones. They'll crawl up inside a little bit more down that tube. Make sure you get those bees. Kind of drive them out of the way. Yep.
Here, yeah, make
Little
sure
bit more
they're
right there.
going inside.
There we go. Okay, now they're going up and out of the way.
Coming out the other side.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It's okay, well, we can
All
kind
right.
of
Now if I set that down,
we heard bees with smoke.
so see, look at this. So now we drove them out the top, but I wanted to move them out of the way because now I can set this back down.
What makes the bees move is the smoke.
They don't like smoke, just like us. You know, if we were
Smoke is
standing around the campfire,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, we'd want to move if the smoke's blowing on us. We'd want to move out of the way.
Now the smoke the lid.
Yeah. Now watch how I set this down because there's bees crawling underneath there. I don't just plop it down. I give it a little wiggle, and that gives the bees time to move out of the way so I don't smash them.
So do I
Okay.
smoke the top now?
Now smoke the top and drive the bees back down where they were, out of the way, so when I put the lid on, I won't smash them.
Could I?
They all want turns
Perfect.
doing the smoker. We'll give you a chance. Do you want to pull a frame out of there so they can taste honey after their bee suits are off real quick?
Yes.
And then we'll shut
Okay.
it up.
Yeah, that's good. All right, now see, we dropped a few bees on the ground, so quite often if you get stung, you know, you might be standing right here, and the bees could crawl up your pant leg, you see? So just be aware that there's bees crawling around here when they fall on the ground. All right, we're going to take off a little bit. Well, let's find a frame in here of honey. We can have that before we go. Uh-oh.
That's
Okay,
okay.
that'll be okay. Just don't stand there right where the bees are, because they'll crawl on you. Yeah. So the thing to do right there, you know what? Here's what we can do. Let's lean that right there like that, and then they'll crawl back up. I'll put that right there. Those bees will crawl back up on that. And you could actually bring the smoker over here and smoke those bees towards the hive.
He's smoking them towards,
That
so
one's
they
got some more. Huh?
run back into the hive.
Oh, sorry, you probably know where.
That one's got some
more.
honey.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take one of these over there. All right. So if we want to go back over to the, here's how I get the bees off. Okay, I'm going to put this right here, and I'll just shake it like that. Now, here's the difference. We had a question earlier between the difference between nectar. See this? If you took a frame and did this, and some of this nectar fell out, see that? That's fresh nectar that just came in today. That's real watery. It's not honey yet, it's just nectar. So if you do that, that's how you can tell. Nectar, nectar, nectar. And if it's thicker and it's capped over, then it's honey. Who asked me that question?
Clayson.
All right.
All right. Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go over and we'll take
All
off our bee suits and we'll try some honey.
Let's go. I got all the bees off.
Stuck on you.
Yeah, don't drip it out. There you go. Try some honey. There's a
did
bunch
you
of honey
try
right
that?
there.
Yeah, hang on.
If you liked this video, be sure to check out our beekeeping courses at thehoneycompany.com. We're offering 6 full-length beekeeping courses for beginning, intermediate, and advanced beekeepers. See you there.